Hi, welcome to Wikifiends. I'm your host, Joe.
I'm David.
And we have...
I'm Alec.
Yeah, we have Alec tonight. He's on the show.
Hello.
Hey, Alec. And Dave.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
We're all in different houses tonight.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're gonna read some Wikipedia articles and then give you some opinions.
That's right.
So the first one I have, what?
Indeed, I said.
Yeah. The first one I have is AOHell. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Jesus Christ, man. AOHell. AOHell was a tool that greatly simplified cracking online using AOL. Most notably, the program included a function for stealing the passwords of America Online users and, according to its creator, contains the first recorded mention of the term phishing, spelled P-H-I-S.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like where they get your password, phishing for password.
Oh, okay.
It's also used if you like have a link that's like click here for a free trial and it goes to some weird site that just tries to steal your info. That's like phishing. Like that's called phishing on like social media. Like if you it's just kind of general internet bad behavior.
It says phishing is the attempt to acquire sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details.
Yeah.
Often for malicious reasons. And it also says it should not be confused with phishing, spelled with an F, which is the activity of trying to catch fish.
Yes. That'd be a big mistake.
Yeah, well, phishing is, for the most part, legal when it's about the animal.
Mm-hmm.
But you get into some murky territories when you're doing the pH phishing.
So no relation to the shitty band?
Apparently not.
That's what I thought of first, too.
I think it's related to phone freaking.
Right.
Freaking with pH.
I don't even know what that one means.
I've heard of that. That's kind of like prank shit, too, isn't it?
Well, it's like phone hacks.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Alright. Let's see here. Most of these utilities simply manipulated the AOL interface. Some were powerful enough to let almost any curious party anonymously cause havoc on AOL. The first version of the program was released in 1994 by hackers known as the Chronic, the Rizzer, and the Squirrel. Upon loading, the program played a short clip from Dr. Dre's 1993 song, Nothing But a G-Thang.
Insert clip here.
Seriously.
AOHell was the first program of its kind, but it spawned a very large number of copycats, some of which rivaled AOHell itself in quality. All right, so here are some of the features. A fake account generator, which would generate a new, fully functional AOL account for the user that lasted for about a month. This generator worked by exploiting the algorithm used by credit card companies, known as the Loon algorithm, to dynamically generate apparently legitimate credit card numbers. The account would not be disabled until AOL first billed it and discovered that the credit card was invalid. The other is another feature is phishing tools, and it says it enabled hackers to steal passwords and credit card information through automated social engineering. The program would barrage random AOL users with instant messages like, "Hi, this is AOL customer service. We're running a security check and need to verify your account. Please enter your username and password to continue. It also featured a punter, which would send an instant message containing HTML code to another user that would sign them off. A mail bomb script, which would rapidly send emails to a user's inbox until it was full. A flooding script that would flood a chat room with ASCII art of an offensive nature, such as the finger or a toilet.
Seems useful.
Yeah.
It just sounds like the same stuff that happens today.
Yeah. There's like a lot of this shit still around, like in new forms, like.
Pretty much, but this was a program that was specifically for AOL.
Yeah, a pioneer in internet trolling.
They get into it. They get into it a little bit. It's sort of a area for kiddie scripts.
Script kiddies.
Yes, script kiddie. Sorry.
Yeah. It's
people. Script kiddies.
It's like a low-level hacker. It's like you don't know anything about it, but you just kind of know these. You have these procedures that anyone can use to fuck with people.
It says a user who performs basic cracking using simple tools written by others with little understanding of what they are doing.
Okay.
And then one of the other features is a Steve Case cloak, which allowed users to pose as AOL founder Steve Case in chat rooms.
That's funny. I don't mean to interject. I just when you said that made me think of this. I saw this news story about Mark Zuckerberg, and they're like, oh, he's paranoid as fuck because there's a photograph of him, and on his laptop he had tape over the webcam.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
I do that shit, too.
I know.
Yeah, I felt justified by that.
Well,
what did the photo get? Like, what was the photo of?
It was just like him goofing off in his office, and then it just had his fucking laptop in the background, and it just like showed like, damn, this guy's paranoid as fuck. Like, look,
okay.
It had like tape all over the microphone thing too and shit, I think.
So,
wow.
But it wasn't someone bypassed the tape and was able to get a photo from his laptop. It was just someone in the office took a pic.
Yeah, right. It was it was like it wasn't about his thing. It just, everyone noticed it, and that's so funny.
Very secretive.
Well, it's like, I guess it makes sense if, someone flipped on the webcam, it would be the mic too. So you hear Zuckerberg talking shit or something.
Yeah, he probably talks about a lot of important stuff too.
Yeah.
Now, I was watching Shark Tank once, and they had a guy on who was trying to sell little clips that you could put over the camera.
That's a great, I'm surprised that isn't a thing more.
None of the sharks took him up on it because you could just put a Post-it note or a piece of tape over. That was their rationale for passing.
I mean, it does make sense though, because like it can leave that residue, but I guess it's pretty easily removed with like
pretty cost effective.
Yeah, with like you're gonna clean your screen anyway, so
I think
put some tape on it.
I think his thing was that each plastic clip piece was either red, white, or blue.
I see. So there's like a patriotic aspect.
Yeah,
to it.
And I think in the name there might have been a play on the Patriot Act.
He should sell it anyway.
Oh, okay.
I would probably buy one because tape and Post-it notes, leave that shit on your screen. You can only get off with Goo Gone, and like fuck that,
Well, maybe you could just take a binder clip and just sort of put a little piece of felt where it would touch.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be crafty about it.
But fuck, if they had that device though, like at CVS, and if it was like under $10, like that's easier.
You could probably just buy like a chip clip or something and put it over it.
Yeah, I just said binder clip.
Yeah, binder clip too.
Yeah. They're more I come into contact with them more than chip clips.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Which I believe might be a registered trademark.
But I mean, you could still buy one.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, but am I not allowed to mention that?
No, I get nervous.
Show?
I get nervous.
Oh, okay.
No, chip clip makes me feel more comfortable than a binder clip because I feel like chip clips have like less pressure in them. Like something about the binder clips.
Yeah, it's broader.
Pressure.
It's spread out more.
Yeah.
I feel like if you just sort of work the binder clip a bit, it will not be as tough. And that's why I said felt, but I don't.
Yeah, you did say felt.
Yeah.
That pressure makes me nervous, though.
I don't want a big chip clip on my computer. It's very conspicuous.
It's on the top part.
Yeah. It's where everyone can see it.
What, you're going to look like a crazy fucking person no matter what, though, a little bit with that thing.
I don't want people confusing me for Mark Zuckerberg.
If you're the type of person that would, put tape on your lens, are you like the type of person that would really go out with your laptop, though?
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Our home computer, or like not a laptop.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's going to see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the next one. The next part. There was also a system that would send pirated copies of software directly to one's mailbox, with AOL footing all the bandwidth cost. Now it says in the manual for AOHell, the creator claimed that he created the program because the AOL administrators would frequently shut down hacker and wares chat rooms for violation of AOL's terms of service, while refusing to shut down the pedophilia chat rooms, which regularly traded child pornography. The Chronicle claimed that when he confronted AOL's TOS advisor about it, he was met with an account deletion. It says, in a quote, it says, AOL constantly closed the hackers member room, but refuses to do anything about all the pedophilia rooms. I once IM TOS advisor and asked him why he closes the hacker room, but does not close the kiddie porn rooms. He did not reply. Instead, he canceled my account. I guess we see where AOL's priorities lie.
Wow.
Oh, shit. The Chronicle is a anti-child.
Well, it makes a good point.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like, yeah, people should not be, not be sending child pornography, but it doesn't justify him stealing people's accounts.
That's true.
The Chronicle has a point, yeah.
Shut up. And then he stated his goal was to have 20,000 plus idiots using AOHell to knock people offline, steal passwords and credit card information, and to basically annoy the hell out of everyone. And it says the program was last compatible with AOL version 2.5. So that was a while ago.
Yeah. Is AOL even around anymore?
No, it was defunct as a service provider in the mid 2000s. I think it got up to AOL 9.
Okay.
9.7, 9.8. Their website still exists. It's really weird. Like, it's kind of like BuzzFeedy a little bit. Like, they still exist as a company, but they haven't done anything for years. It's strange.
That is weird. Very odd.
I mean, it's like a legacy company. Like, everybody knows who fucking AOL is. Like,
yeah, it was like the first, synonymous with the internet when it first came out.
I wonder if there still exists as a company just because everybody fucking had it back then, and they still, like, that money's still around.
Well, they own a lot of things. Like, they own Time Warner.
Oh, that was, well, fuck. I mean, that's pretty, yeah.
There you go.
I believe it's AOL Time Warner.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And they own other things as well. Yeah.
Moved on to greener pastures.
Maybe they don't own... Maybe it's a joint thing. I don't know.
I've definitely heard that AOL Time Warner, though. It's just whatever the principal company is probably owns both of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they do other stuff. I don't particularly know what.
Yeah.
Now, I remember once I saw, I think this guy was from Yahoo. They were interviewing a guy from Yahoo. And this is like way after Yahoo was relevant, you know what I mean? Like sometime in the past like 5 years. And they were interviewing this guy, and he like had, his fingernails were all painted black, and he had like the shock. He had like Susie Sue, like black goth hair. He's just like this really crazy looking guy. Like, and he was like head of like Yahoo, like fucking like programming or something. Like, it's so funny. But you know, that's another legacy fucking internet company. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Definitely. Before they got knocked off by Google.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Dogpile. God, there's so many. I remember all of them.
Ask Jeeves.
Ass Jeeves.
Lycos.
Like, I used the fuck out of Lycos. I was trying to remember the other ones.
Well, Yahoo was the big one.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember there was a movie that my mom and my grandmother really liked called Frequency from 1999, and Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid are in it. And then Michael Rappaport, it's like a time travel thing, and a big like a joke C plot is that Michael Rappaport laments that he didn't buy stock in Yahoo, and then Jim Caviezel communicates with the past, and he tells the young Michael Rappaport to buy Yahoo, and it was like because it was 99 and it was very big at the time.
Should have looked further into the future.
Well, he couldn't go to the future. He could only communicate with the past.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
They did buy Tumblr, though.
Yes, I know that. It looks like Verizon might own AOL.
Oh.
Yeah, Verizon bought it in 2015.
I wonder if it is just kind of people with like less sophisticated internet. Like they're, you know, it's like I wonder if like AOL is like big in like overseas. Like, you know what I mean? It could be like.
Yeah, well, I don't think it does internet anymore. I think it's just a company that.
Just a brand, yeah.
Yeah, that does other things. But I guess it still has AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh, right. It's just like only used by ISIS now.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like they were fucking pretty sweetheart with pedophiles, so maybe that's all who's using it now.
Probably.
Yeah, that is weird. You would think they would want to shut that down right away.
Maybe they were like
right when they.
Yeah. No, like maybe they're like.
Yeah, it seems like right when you find out about that, you shut them down.
Or they're like, we don't take orders from you to Chronic. Like, fuck off. We'll shut it down.
I guess hackers were a bigger deal back then.
Yeah.
It was affecting their bottom line, I would imagine, but...
Right.
Yeah.
You would think they would not want the publicity of child pornographers using their service.
Unless those child pornographers have deep pockets.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Probably not, though. I think
who knows how far the rabbit hole goes?
That's true.
That's another show.
Now, have you heard about the red pill, Alec?
Oh, God. Let's not.
No, I'm
heard there's a blue one, too?
Yeah.
It's a Matrix metaphor, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of humor. All right, who has an article they want to read about? Wait, do you guys remember the discs? You remember getting discs all the time?
Dip? I remember Dip. Oh, Dip?
No, discs.
Oh, discs.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember the AOL discs.
Yeah, that was a big thing. That was a big punchline in humor media.
Oh, you know what you can do with here? Top 10 things you can do with your leftover AOL discs. You can put it on your dick, use it as a coaster. Like,
Make a big mirror?
Yeah.
You want to go with your article, Alec? Since you are, I guess.
Sure. I can do an article. One sec.
You guys use Google Chrome now?
Oh, yeah.
I do use Google Chrome.
Yeah.
I like the extensions. Do you ever use those?
No.
The extensions?
Google Chrome has like this store called the Extension Store and has all this free shit on it. I actually use one of them for the show. It's like called Simple Highlighter or something. You can highlight text in a web page and it saves it if you're using Chrome. It's actually, there's a lot of like little useful things.
All right, what's Alec's thing?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to bring it up right now.
Yeah,
I thought I had a link set up and I didn't. Sorry.
That's all right.
No big deal. Wait, hold on. I know this isn't Craigslist fiends, but I was looking at jobs today and I saw this funny one, seeking a female photographer to take pictures for a salvage yard. Must have experience in using professional cameras. You will be taking photos of cars and motorcycle parts. You will help in office work. We're looking for a good-looking female with a nice smile.
Nice.
It's like the female aspect has nothing to do with the job, like whatsoever. You know?
Just a preference.
Preference, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got my I've got an article loaded up. Whenever.
Oh, wait, what were you gonna say, Joe?
I was gonna say, you know how sometimes you could send like if there's a job interview, but you don't have all the qualifications, but like you think like maybe you can like get by on the ones you do have.
Yeah.
That'd be a funny job to apply for and just not have that one requirement.
Well, I'm not a good-looking female with a nice smile, but
I'm very good. I'm very good at camera. I also speak Spanish.
Right?
Good at camera.
Yeah, an unrelated skill, but still pretty useful skill.
I know. I'm not what you're ideally looking for. I am a man, but I'm a hard worker.
All right, so what you got, Alec?
Hit it, Alec.
All right, so I've got The Unknown Comic. Do you guys know The Unknown Comic?
I don't.
Yes.
Okay, well, The Unknown Comic, for those that don't know out there in podcast land, the stage name adopted by Canadian actor and stand-up comic Murray Langston. He's best known for appearing on the Gong Show. He usually showed up, in a nice kind of tacky suit, a paper bag over his head with three holes poked in it, kind of 2 eyes and a mouth kind of centered in the nose area there, though. And, he was really big on the Gong Show. He would do kind of, a lot of cheesy humor, like introduce his grandparents to the audience, and it would show a couple sitting in the front row with crumpled up paper bags on their heads to, symbolize wrinkles of age.
That's funny.
And then he would do, it's good stuff. And he'd do, oh, you guys mind if I smoke? And then inhale through the eye hole. And, that's that's all I really know about him from my viewings of his work.
So you've unmasked him.
I have unmasked, not really though, because I have not been able to find like a consistent picture of what Murray Langston actually looks like.
Mm.
So we know his name, and there's some debate about his age. He's either 70 or 71, depending on what month he was born in. We only know the year, 1945.
Mm.
And he's twice divorced. He went into semi-retirement in the 90s, and he went on to raise his daughters as a single father.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he's been occasionally appearing on stand-up specials, local stuff, since 2000.
Now, did either of you ever watch the Gong Show?
No.
I've watched some clips from the Gong Show.
It used to be on Game Show Network back when I had that. It was not a favorite of my family. I think they thought it was stupid. But I liked it.
It's fun. It's part of the appeal.
And I recently watched a movie from the early 2000s, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Did either of you see that? About Chuck Barris, the host and creator of the Gong Show?
No.
I have not seen that.
As well as the dating game and the newlywed game?
No, he's a
Was this
host
the guy
on a bunch
who,
of shit?
like, he, is this the guy that said he was, like, a secret agent later in life or something like that?
Yeah, that's the premise of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember looking up the unknown comic after watching it. The movie's pretty good. I would endorse someone viewing it. Recommend is the word I meant.
You can endorse it, though. Endorse it for viewing.
Yeah, well, what I said stands up.
Wait, so they're 100% sure this was always the same guy doing this fucking routine? Like, it wasn't just like a thing, like it was different comics wearing the bag?
Wikipedia seems to think it's the one guy. I imagine it doesn't seem like it's, from what I've seen, it's not really an act worth ripping off.
But it's not like a Tony Clifton type scenario.
Yeah, it's not like a Tony Clifton. It's not like Joke's on You crowd. He is actually up there, being funny and silly, trying to entertain.
So it's this guy's gimmick. It's not like a role different people can fulfill.
It is his gimmick, yes.
Right.
Although it's a gimmick that he extends to his family and so on like that. So he does try to make it like his head is a bag.
Now, like, the parents having wrinkly bags on their heads, wrinkly because they're old, it's kind of like, that's a nice detail of the gimmick.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever.
I like the amount of bag-related thought. Yeah.
Yes, it's consistent humor.
Yeah. It's running with the gimmick, right? It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to Murray, what's his name?
Murray Langston.
So wait, wasn't it just
Supposedly.
kind of shitty regular jokes he would make, like very like typical like clean comedian stuff?
Yeah, it was safe stuff. I mean, it's the Gong Show, so you can't get
too.
You gotta work blue. Is that what it is? Work blue is working clean.
But what's the point?
Working blue is not working clean.
Oh, okay, never mind. He did not work blue.
It seems like the bag.
But he did work blue. I'm confusing myself. Huh?
The bag would be a perfect excuse to work blue, to just tell really like outrageous shit.
The face on the bag is too cute to be rude, though. Just look surprised.
It'd be funny if he has the bag over his head, so then he goes, we got J.P. Morgan here tonight. More like they should call her J.P. Loose Cunt.
Guess who I am?
Terrible things.
Yeah. Well, J.P. Morgan was one of the panelists and is not the industrialist. They're two different people.
Oh, okay. My bad.
That's all right.
The other J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, the real J.P. Morgan. It'd be funny if that was her Twitter handle. All right.
Well, that's about all I got on the Unknown Comics, yeah.
Is there any other good, I guess you just said it. Do you have anything to add, Dave?
No, I actually, now that you've told it all, I have heard of this before. I think I may have looked into this myself actually at one point. It's a weird, it's a funny gimmick, but I mean, I don't know. It's interesting.
It's like a gong show. It's, you wish the guy under it was better because, more can be done with it than wrinkled bags.
No, that's you kind of pinpointed it. It seems like I like the gimmick kind of from an aesthetic standpoint, but when you actually see it, it's like, what is it? Like this lily livered shit.
I would be interested in watching more clips of Unknown Comic.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to render a verdict just yet.
From what I remember being underwhelmed.
I thought you said you never watched the Gong Show.
No, but I think I've watched those clips of this character, though.
All right. I do also recall that there may have been a Tomb of the Unknown Comic joke on The Simpsons.
Oh, really?
Or from some other, piece of media.
I believe it.
Yeah, it works. Ooh. What do you got for us, Dave?
The Frogs Who Desired a King. The Frogs Who Desired a King is one of Aesop's fables. Throughout its history, the story has been given a political application. Here's the basic synopsis. According to the earliest source, Phaedrus, the Roman fabulist, the story concerns a group of frogs who called on the great god Zeus to send them a king. He threw down a log which fell into their pond with a loud splash and terrified them. Eventually one of the frogs peeped over the water, and seeing it was no longer moving, soon all hopped upon it and made fun of their king. Then the frogs made a second request for a real king, and were sent a water snake that started eating them. Once more, frogs appealed to Zeus, but this time he replied that they must face the consequences of their request. In later variations of the story, the water snake is often replaced with a stork or a heron. Have you guys heard of this before?
No.
I haven't read any Ace of Fables since I was a child. And I think even then it was just like a picture book of the best of.
Best of Aesop. No, I think me too though. I mean this seems like one of the sleeper ones, like a filler, a filler fable.
Well, it sounds sort of like it sounds like a good more in depth than just like a be careful what you wish for. It's sort of like a thing like be cautious in who you want to, place your trust in or.
Right. No, I mean, there's kind of like a
or even authority figure, like trust and authority.
I mean, I kind of get like an elitist thing out of it a little bit. It's like the frogs are going to be mad no matter what you do. There's a little bit of like the common are always discontent kind of a thing. So, all right, there has been a lot of commentary and analysis, which this is kind of interesting to me. A lot of this kind of analysis is like 19th century or older. You know what I mean? Like it's all like
no one's taken a closer look at it recently.
No, but it's funny. But at one point, like a lot of people kind of lampooning Napoleon, like, oh, it's just like the frogs, and which that's always a funny thing to me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The original context of the story, as related by Phaedrus, I just, as an aside, I think this is kind of weird too. Like they keep talking about the original story was by this guy Phaedrus, who was a Roman fabulist. Mm-hmm. So essentially, Aesop boosted this story. You know what I mean? This isn't even. Which is,
I thought Aesop was Greek.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Phaedrus was the original teller of the story. He's a Roman guy. That's the earliest source of it. But yeah, okay. I know Aesop was like a slave in a kingdom. And he, became elderly. He wrote all these things, or that's kind of the general gist. So I don't know, but it seems like maybe he was more of a compiler, in some ways.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe the other guy was there when it actually happened.
Right. He's like Scott in The Great Gatsby. All right, so the original context of the story, as related by Phaedrus, makes it clear that people feel the need of laws but are impatient of personal restraint. His closing advice is to be content for fear of worse. By the time of William Caxton, who first published in English, the lesson drawn is that he that hath liberty ought keep it well, for nothing is better than liberty. in his version, it is a heron rather than a snake. A later commentator, the English royalist Roger Lestrange, sums up the situation thus: the mob are uneasy without a ruler, they are restless with one, and offer they shift, the worse they are, so that government or no government, a king of God's making or of the people's, or none at all, the multitude are never to be satisfied. So there's your kind of like, oh, they never know what they want, and the problem is they keep changing their minds, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of an interesting perspective. There's kind of a very alien kind of, you know what I mean? You can only make that observation after seeing these things play out again and again. So it's kind of like, it's a hindsight 2020, only with history could you make that kind of observation, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's not that unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. No, but I mean, it's odd. This is like a time tested observation, supposedly. You know what I mean?
Well, isn't that all of
most of the
Aesop's
fables? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Aesop was coming out with new like. It's not like Aesop created the idea of like, don't rush things when he did the tortoise and the hare.
No, I mean, I guess it's odd. It's like a sociological one. It's not like a personal, like, don't count your chickens before they hatch. There's kind of a broader implication that I feel like you don't see as much in these. It's almost kind of a political.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But maybe more like that. Who knows?
Yeah, more like ones that.
Yeah.
Well, it almost seems political, like, don't count your chickens before they hatch. I mean, that could be, anybody could say that, it doesn't matter your political leanings. There almost seems to be a little bit of a bent in this.
Yeah, it kind of speaks of a group of people instead of just like,
right.
like one person.
Yeah.
Or it speaks of a group of people, maybe not to them.
Let me see. Martin Luther, the famous German theologian, in his On Governmental Authority, spoke of it. Frogs must have their storks. He alludes to this fable, how humans deserve the rulers they get. And
he's gross.
Martin Luther.
Yeah.
Is he like is he the father of like Protestantism or Methodism or
Protestantism.
He's the one that nailed the thing to the church door, right?
Yeah, the Magna Carta.
Yeah, in protest.
It was at the fucking Magna Carta?
Yeah.
I thought the Magna Carta was like...
There's like a different Magna Cartas.
Oh, I see. I didn't realize it was called that.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought Magna Carta was the precursor to the Constitution. I thought Martin Luther nailed like his issues.
Yeah, his is the 95 Theses.
I don't know.
Yeah, the 95 Theses.
95 feces.
Theses.
Martin Luther took 95 feces.
Theses, like thesis work.
Right.
I don't know why I said Magna Carta.
I don't know why I agreed to Magna Carta. Just nodding my head.
That's all right.
So, yeah.
What if he nailed a manga up to it? 95 mangas.
95 volumes of Magna Carta.
Yeah. That'd be gross. Yeah.
That would probably change the world a lot.
Is there a manga version of the Magna Carta?
Who knows?
All right, so that's the whole deal with this shit. But there's a little bit of kind of an anti-democratic aspect to it, I feel like.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
The New England poet James K. Baxter wrote in election 1960, a democratic people have elected King Log, King Stork, King Log, King Stork again. Because I was a wide and silent pawn, I voted Log. That party was defeated.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I have criticisms of democracy, so I'm not in disagreement with that side of it.
Fable.
Yeah.
As a staunch monarchist, like, I totally understand.
Well, all right. Don't put words in my mouth.
No, I was just fucking around.
Yeah.
Old King Log. Yeah, there's all these other kind of references to it. It's kind of interesting. So, if you ever hear the terms King Log or King Stork, you'll know where they're from. So
maybe we should start using those.
Who would King Log be?
That's a good question. It's like a king that doesn't do anything and everybody makes fun of.
Like I guess I don't know. I guess like a Gerald Ford, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. No, it's like the stork, the examples, is like Napoleon. It's like they're given a few examples where it's used in political cartoons.
Mm. They're all bad.
All right.
But who's all bad?
All the politicians.
Yeah, I agree.
They can all sit on it.
Yo, that's the Wikifiends. Wikifiends official political statement. Fuck the world.
Well, I didn't say that.
FW.
That's a Dave position.
Fuck the world of politics.
All right, that's okay. I can endorse that.
Yeah.
All right, Camel Wrestling. You guys heard about this?
Right.
I know Alec likes wrestling.
I know. I've never heard of camel wrestling. Though.
It's like bear baiting. It's just like fighting an actual camel.
All right, well let me put you wise, as they might say in a song. Camel wrestling is a sport in which two male Tulu camels wrestle, typically in response to a female camel in heat being led before them. It is most common in the Aegean region of Turkey, but is also practiced in other parts of the Middle East and South Asia. Camel fighting originated among ancient Turkic tribes over 2,400 years ago. Camels also wrestle in the wild, so the practice occurred before it was first organized by nomads. During the 1850s, an American military officer was inspired by the popularity of camel wrestling in Turkey and set out to establish a camel wrestling tournament in Texas. He was unsuccessful, however, due in part to the start of the American Civil War in 1861. In the 1920s, the Turkish National Aviation League has held camel fights as fundraisers in order to purchase planes for the government of Turkey, which is pretty funny.
Like a state-funded dogfight or something?
Pretty much. And it's specifically to buy planes.
How do the camels fight?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just curious.
No, that's all right. I'm just viewing a bit. The government of Turkey began discouraging the practice in the 1920s. However, characterizing it as too backwards of a practice. In the 1980s, the new government of Turkey began encouraging the competitions as part of Turkey's historic culture. Camel wrestling was also a popular event at the Lahore Horse and Cattle Show, but it was excluded from the program during the visit of Queen Elizabeth II in 1961, as it was deemed too fierce for the Queen. It says here, due to the motivating factor of a nearby female camel, the events have historically been held during mating season. The practice of using a nearby female for motivation is not used as frequently now due to the degree of violence it causes. It is difficult to convince male camels to fight without one nearby, so organizers have attempted to entangle two camels together, or starve the camels to make them more aggressive. The camels fight by using their necks as leverage to force their opponent to fall down. A camel is declared the winner if his competitor falls to the ground or flees from the fight. Most fighting camels are bred in Iran or Afghanistan. It says here, male camels begin fighting at age 10, and some continue for over a decade. Camel owners often name their camels after politicians and world leaders. The camels are often draped in decorative rugs, carved saddles, and bells. The events are also accompanied by beauty contests between camels. It says here, a successful camel can be sold for over $20,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And it says the events can occasionally be hazardous to spectators if the camels attempt to flee through the crowd. And it adds that on some occasions, fight also break out between the owners of the camels.
It's that's like every beauty contest.
Well, I think that's more about the fighting camels and not the sexy camels. Now, it says here, several animal rights organizations have also criticized the practice, characterizing it as cruelty to animals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's what I wanted to talk about. It seems like the natural way, which is to have a female in heat nearby, they're moving away from that because it makes the camels too aggressive. So instead, they just sort of shove them together or starve them, which to me seems worse. It seems like if they're doing it naturally, that's like a thing that, would happen.
Sounds more like dog fighting or whatever.
It seems
it's
like
not really natural if you isolate them and kind of force it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're just fighting over who gets to have sex with a lady camel, it seems like it's fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it just happens in the wild, it's fine. But if you I don't know, if you corral them and kind of force it to happen, it seems a little I don't know, a little cruel maybe.
Yeah, still engineering it. You know what I mean? That's still.
They're bringing a sexy camel by to get them all worked up,
so they can fight to the death.
Well, yeah, and apparently they get more aggressive if there's a woman involved.
So how do they fight? They just butt into each other?
It says that they use their necks as leverage to force their opponent to fall down.
Wow.
Like punching.
And what do they do once they're down?
Well, then if one's down or runs away, then the fight's over.
Oh, okay. So it's not. I misunderstood. I thought they fought to the death.
No.
So they're not biting each other and shit.
Oh.
Okay.
No, they're pushing each other down.
And then they pin them. So it is very much like wrestling. I don't really have a problem with that. If they just,
I don't think they pin them. I think it just falls down. I don't think.
True. Don't they force them down with their necks so they for a second they're pinning them? Maybe.
I think they just have to knock them down. I don't think there's a count.
Oh, okay. I didn't think there was a count. But I don't know. I thought maybe the camel held it down or something like that.
Maybe.
So I'd imagine everyone try to get up again, right?
That could be your rule when you hold a camel fight.
I know I have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder that's how horses fight. I wonder if that's just I'm surprised that there's no it's not like they don't even break the skin. It's just literally about kind of asserting dominance, which kind of takes a little bit of the edge out of it. It's not like dog fights where they're ripping each other apart and shit.
Yeah,
so.
it seems a lot better if it seems a lot more palatable if they're just sort of knocking each other down.
Yeah, it's just kind of like sumo or something with camels.
I guess I'm fine with it no matter how they do it, as long as they do it fair.
Yeah, no cheating.
No cheat. Yeah, I guess what if it happened in the wild, that's most ideal. That's the time you should place your bets and not feel bad about it. But otherwise, I guess it's not so bad. There's worse.
Yeah, it seems essentially beforehand they just sort of like groom them, and then immediately before the fights they just sort of cover them with like robes and stuff.
Hmm.
I'm into that.
Presumably, so you could tell the difference between the camels.
Yeah, I imagine that would be a problem.
And there's a fun drawing of, I guess, like a painting of a camel fight from the 1600s on the page.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I also it says they're Tulu camels. I looked that up. That's a hybrid camel, a hybrid between a Bactrian and a dromedary.
I didn't know there were different kinds of camels.
Yeah, the Bactrian's the 2-hump and the dromedary's the 1-hump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard the phrase dromed before, I think. It's a weird one.
I'm a dromedary man myself.
I'm a 1-hump man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too. I'm looking at pictures.
I'm a one and done man.
I got 2 balls and like 2 humps on my camels.
So you're a Bactrian?
Yeah. I like the name better for dromed, but
You're a Bactrian boy.
well, I like your classic camel typically has, I guess it's depicted with well, this is the thing. The way it's depicted is if you sit on the 1 hump, it becomes 2.
Yeah, it goes down in the middle and pops up behind you in front of you.
Yes, I believe that. Yeah.
You mean like in Looney Tunes?
Yes.
But I think like on Camel cigarettes, it's a 1-humper.
That's a good question. Is Joe Camel dromed or?
Well, I didn't say Joe Camel. I said the realistic camel.
Oh, right. That's right. I forgot about that. Is it
I
a
wonder-
1-hump?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, we had a chat about whether Joe Camel was 1-hump or 2. I said 1-hump. No, wait, the not Joe Camel, the actual camel from Camel cigarettes.
Camel cigarettes.
Yeah,
Which was it?
the camel on the Camel cigarettes is 1-hump.
Ah.
Joe Camel has no humps. He's just a man with a camel's head.
He just wears t-shirts and leather jackets.
I recall on Camel Cash he would wear a powdered wig.
Really? Oh, that makes sense for Cash.
Yeah, because he looked like George Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my family, we were more of a Marlboro Miles household.
No one in my family smoked.
No.
No.
You there, Dave?
Yeah, I'm looking up cigarette packs that have dual humps.
Are there any?
I'm just looking to see if there's any inconsistencies, like in any of the brands of Camel, where like someone's like, "Oh, they got 2 humps." Nah, I don't see shit.
Google Joe Camo. There's a couple Joe Chemo parodies
That's
like
where he is suffering from cancer and sitting in a bed holding his sunglasses.
that sounds
Very
like
sad.
that sounds like a Mad Magazine.
It looks kind of like a
Treatment.
Wacky Packs or something like that.
Wait, is it for comedy or is it like health awareness? Like,
It looks like for comedy. They both look like Garbage Pail Kids cards or something.
I guess like the
No,
fact
these
he's
are
still
like
wearing
these are like
sunglasses.
cautionary. There's a little thing on the bottom. Surgeon General warns that smoking is a frequent cause of wasted potential and fatal regret.
That's a joke one.
I mean, like if he was in a hospital bed with sunglasses, I would assume that's a joke a little bit. Like,
He's holding them, looking sad. There's another one where he's walking down a hospital hallway holding I don't know what you call it, the little pole thing. It's got a little bag of water on it.
Like an
yeah.
IV.
Drip.
IV, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
All right, you got another article, Alec?
Sure. Have another article about the Bechdel test. You guys...
I was going to do the Bechdel test.
Interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Go for it.
You guys familiar with the Bechdel test?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, for those who aren't, the Bechdel test asks whether a work of fiction features at least two women who talk to each other about something other than a man. The requirement that the two women must be named is sometimes added. Only about half of all films meet these requirements, according to user-edited databases and media industry press. Test is used as an indicator for the active presence of women in films and other fiction, and to call attention to the gender inequality in fiction due to sexism. Also known as the Bechdel-Wallace test, the test is named after American cartoonist Alison Bechdel. His comic strip, Dykes to Watch Out For It, first appeared in 1985. Bechdel credited the idea to friend Liz Wallace and to the writings of Virginia Woolf. After the tests became more widely discussed in the 2000s, a number of variants and tests inspired by it have been introduced. And let me see. Some criticisms of the Bechdel test as well. The Bechdel test only indicates whether women are present in a work of fiction to a certain degree. A work may pass the test and still contain sexist content, and a work with prominent female characters may fail the test. A work may fail the test for reasons unrelated to general bias, such as because its setting works against the inclusion of women. The Revenant is an example stated for that. It's a film that fails because of film critic Robbie Collin criticized the test as prizing box ticking and stat hoarding over analysis and appreciation. Suggests that the underlying problem of the lack of well-drawn female characters in film ought to be a topic of discourse, rather than films failing or passing the Bechdel test. An attempt at a quantitative analysis of works as to whether or not they pass the test, at least one researcher, Faith Lawrence, noted that the results depend on how rigorously the test is applied. One of the questions arising from its application is whether a reference to a man at any point within a conversation that also covers other topics indicates the entire exchange or not. The question remains how one defines start and end of a conversation. So a lot of
syntax
discussion
debate,
about the Bechdel test, though. Here's some of the derived tests. There's a Bechdel test for software. Lori Voss, CTO of NPM, proposed a Bechdel test for software. Source code passes this test if it contains a function written by a woman developer. It's called a function written by a different woman developer. Press notice was attracted after the U.S. government agency 18F analyzed their own software according to this metric. It's a think binder test. Bechdel test also inspired the think binder test, a checklist to help journalists avoid gender bias in articles about women in science. A few other ones too. What do you guys think of the Bechdel test?
Wait. So
I don't like it at all.
You don't like it at all?
No.
Wait. So the original Bechdel test, if I remember, it's like, as you were saying, it's in a narrative. It's two women speaking to each other about not talking about a man.
No, it's two women, obviously, and they're talking about movies. It's very literal. The punchline is the last movie that one of them was able to see was Alien.
That's the original strip in which it's mentioned. But
yes,
Dave was asking specifically.
One right here.
Dave's asking specifically what the original Bechdel test was, not the first strip it was in.
What the original Bechdel test was?
Yeah, so not these updated ones about software or whatever.
No. Oh, the original Bechdel test is the one about, if there are two women in a film talking about something other than a man.
Yeah, right. But it seems like when it's later applied, it's applied in the sense that is a woman at all involved in its development, I guess? Well,
that's a different test. That's not the Bechdel
but
test.
But is that
that's the weird software one.
Okay,
it's oddly specific.
No, yeah, but that's okay. But it's like, has a woman been involved in the development of the software?
That's a derived thing.
Yeah.
It's not a.
I mean, it's just about like it's really just about films. Like if a film has that one, not that out of the, not that out of left field feature in it.
You could probably extend it to any piece of narrative, though.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. Yeah, you definitely could. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Alison Bechdel would draw the line and say like, well, yeah, only movies, comics don't count.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, it's a narrative test. It's does the narrative have it, right? Like it could be any medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me think. What was I going to ask? And it's about people. It's not like so kind of broad that it's like unisex. It has to be female identified characters, I would imagine, because it's about
it's got to be two women talking to each other at some point for any period of time. I guess full conversation about something that isn't something other than a man.
I guess that they were saying, part of the thing was if, like, in a movie that has a brief moment of the lady of the house talking to a chambermaid, like, bring me my water, like, that doesn't really count as passive.
It probably doesn't count.
Yeah. It has to be a conversation, like.
Because they probably don't name the chambermaid also.
Oh, named, that's right, named characters.
That's an added part.
But that's not always, that's a frequent add-on, but it's not part of the original.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it fails because of like what was mentioned about how it could still contain sexist material. Like it could,
true,
it could be there could be a scene where two women talk about, so I don't know, about their love of literature, and then there's another scene later where a man is justified for raping a woman.
Okay, so if the overall narrative is perceived as being
well, no, that's the flaw with it. The Bechdel test doesn't address whether the overall thing is sexist.
Yeah,
it only addresses whether or not it has a small segment. It has at least a small segment in which two women talk about something other than a man.
Okay.
So you can't really determine whether something is sexist or not, though.
And admittedly, in her thing, it's probably just like a light joke for a strip originally, but it was later used as a metric for determining whether something was, inclusive of women.
She's come forward and said that too. I can't find her right now, but she did say something to the extent that, it's just meant as a silly joke for a lesbian comic strip.
Yeah, I mean,
that it blew up so much.
As like a joke thing, it is like a funny thing that two people, gay or not, would say to each other, like a funny little, like, well, this is how I judge things, But for people to, utilize it without saying, well, is it overall a good way of analyzing something? It's not effective. And, it seems like people could be missing out on a lot of, really great, narrative. Yeah. Well, a lot of great works of art are missing a lot of great, things if they're only looking for that thing to determine whether something's good or not.
Yeah, it is kind of like missing the forest through the trees, not being able to see the forest through the trees.
I mean, I get it from the sense that, like, maybe it's this very specific thing that, like, you wish there was a way to identify it. Like, I like that scene, I want to see more of that. I don't have an issue with it from a categorical standpoint. Like, I think actually, I'm kind of into, like, obsessive categorization.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't like that.
I wish there was a list of, like, what's all the movies where, like, it's a powerful man, like, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not into.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it would be a lot of fun to do, like, other tests like this, just kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know, give every film its own little rundown there.
I'm not against that. Yeah.
Dave has a preoccupation with with finding out formulas for why something works.
Yeah, I like genre studies. I really like genre.
And I object to it as a sort of as like a as a
that's boring.
A formula for something being effective. I reject it as a definitive thing, but Dave seems to like it. And now, not because it's boring, but because I think it's dismissive, and you miss out on a lot of things, and it's not accurate.
Well, you think it's wrong-headed, right? Like Pursuit.
I think you miss a lot of things.
Wait, are you against categorization at all? Like, are you against like sci-fi fantasy like genre categorization? Like,
I mean, you have to tell people like what something is, just for them to get an idea. What?
Oh, I'd say that's a little different than the Bechdel test.
I think
a genre categorization.
I think it's fine to just say, well, it's sci-fi, and just sort of like, or I guess the easiest thing is like saying, well, it's a comedy, you know.
You're into broad categorization, not specific or.
Yeah, I don't want a thing about like
dark
this is
fantasy.
Well, even that's not super. That's not super specific. But if it's like like dark fantasy about three people living in a fortress in the room. It's
Were
like,
two of those characters females, and did they have a conversation?
Yeah, so someone just telling you, "Oh, it's fiction," would it be enough?
I see. Like that's the thing. Like I get how it could be used. Like I only watch things that have passed the Bechdel test, or like if you had like a hard stance about. Like, I only watch things that have an extremely muscular man winning. Like, you're obviously fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Well, that was like a thing I saw like in a rejection. I saw someone write like, and it was from a few years ago. Someone wrote, "Gravity would fail the Bechdel test, but Birdemic would not."
I see.
And one of those is clearly worse than the other.
It's not like it's not an objective thing about quality. It's yeah. Well, I mean, like
I know it is what it is.
It is what it is, and I don't think it's all that big of a deal. I don't think it is like that's, and it's true. It's ineffective if it is applied. I agree with Joe in the sense like if you're using it. I mean, like, what's the heart of the thing? The idea is the test brings up the fact that there's not a lot of movies that have this, right? Isn't that the whole kind of it's kind of
about half the movies they've run this test over. And there's a lot of movies missing. Obviously, they haven't watched every movie ever.
Right.
But
about half of the.
I even reject that because it makes it seem like, well, we need to have all the movies have it. Where it's like,
no, I didn't mean it like that, but I understand why you'd say that.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm saying I can imagine people saying, well, we need to get to a place where all the movies have an element of this. But it's like a movie can still have redeeming good, content or even good like a message without having to pass this test.
This is just how we know which films to burn 15 years from now. Super PC America.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, it's it's weird when you think about it because like the Bechdel test is like, if you're an independent creator, you're an independent what is it like what's the term for where you do everything?
Jack of all trades?
No, not a jack of all trades. What the fuck is it? It's like artiste. It's like artiste or
auteur.
Something. Auteur. Yeah,
oh, okay.
This isn't going to stop an auteur from doing anything, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it's intended to stop anyone.
But I can see how, like, if you're trying to get like maybe a public work made, and like public, I mean like a TV show or a movie that kind of has like a board of directors and shit, and they're like, oh god, we can't, this has got to pass the Bechdel test, no one's gonna watch it, I can see how like be like, oh well, that'd be irritating because it's like you're just using this arbitrary thing that just is a fucking waste of time. But honestly, like I think these kinds of things, they don't they're not going to stop anything. You know, they're just kind of interesting, like, things. You know, they're kind of more in the realm of theory than anything else. And I actually kind of like these kinds of things. I think I'm not against there being more of these kinds of things.
Well, if you like these kind of things, you might like the little game I have prepared.
Oh, does it pass the Bechdel test? I was wondering. I was going to ask if that was your game. Like,
that's a good game.
That's a great game, actually.
Thank you. All right, so I have a list of I got a list of movies here. Start with some random ones first, and I got a second list after this. So I've got a few movies, some recent, some from a few years ago. You're probably familiar enough with all of them to make a guess on whether they pass the Bechdel test or not. So, all right. So first, I've got let me see. How about Ghostbusters?
No. Wait, the new Ghostbusters?
The original, not the one that is yet to be released. The original from the 80s.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, Joe's got that one. Ghostbusters failed the Bechdel test.
Damn.
All right, so how about Muppets Most Wanted?
I'm gonna say it did not pass.
Second most recent Muppets movie.
I'm gonna guess it did.
All right, Dave got that one. Muppets Most Wanted failed the Bechdel test.
Does it have a thing where Miss Piggy talks to a woman though?
Think about Kermit though.
But see, wouldn't that just be that would be a man?
Wait.
I know it's not Frank Oz anymore, but Miss Piggy is voiced by a man, isn't she?
Yeah, but the characters, it's about characters, right?
That's I don't know. That's a good I guess it doesn't count because it probably happens in the movie.
It's if she talks it's all animals. There's no humans.
Oh, it's just Miss Piggy talking to Janice, the only other female Muppet. Both voiced by men.
Well, that shouldn't count then because there's Quyanisku and like Baraka or whatever. Those like ones where it's just nature. And those wouldn't pass either. There's like Quayanoski, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where
it's just like footage of like nature and stuff.
Oh yeah, I think those are just kind of not applicable or something.
Right, or like any footage from sports or like bloopers, like what I mean. Just like all these sports blooper VHSs do not pass the Bechdel test.
Okay, let me see. Sharknado.
Yes.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, Joe got that one.
Because that's women talking to each other about sharks.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
I'm going to say no.
Joe got that one.
Damn.
Dark Knight Rises does not pass. All right. The Wedding Planner.
I prefer The Wedding Singer.
I'm going to say no.
Well, that's... Okay, Dave says no. Joe?
I'm going to say no.
All right, you both missed that one.
Ooh.
That
really?
one did pass. But Joe, the next one on my list is The Wedding Singer.
I got to think.
I'm going to say yes.
Is there a scene where they are not, where Drew Barrymore and Melody from Hey Dude are not talking about dudes? I think no.
What was your answer, Dave?
It does pass.
All right, Joe got that one too.
That's a fun movie.
Fail. It is a good movie. I like that one.
Yeah,
my favorite Standler, I'd say.
It passes the good test.
Yes. Forrest Gump.
Fuck. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no as well.
It does pass.
Really? Yeah, I could see that.
Pass the Bechdel test.
Is it Jenny talking to someone, or is it?
I think it might be. You know what? The thing with these is it doesn't give you a scene. So I can try to rack my brains along with you guys. I don't exactly know. I just took this off the BechdellList.com.
Maybe it's Sally Field talking to a help, like an assistant woman.
It's Forrest Gump talking to a guy on the park bench.
That would not pass.
All right. You got any more?
So Expendables 2.
No.
I'm going to guess, no.
All right, it did pass.
Oh.
Expendables 1 did not, though.
Okay.
The Birdcage.
No.
I'm going to say no, yeah.
You guys both got that one. It failed. That was all the regular ones I had, and then I had a list of the top 10 grossing films in America. So we'll start at the bottom. Iron Man 3.
No.
It did.
It did. Joe got that one.
Damn.
Here's an easy one.
Probably some just people talking about superheroes.
That's a man.
Not necessarily, Dave.
Yeah. Black Widow.
It's two women talking about Black Widow. That's what
It could. It could be. They could be talking about mutants.
the nature of mutanthood. Yeah.
All right. So Frozen.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Easy one.
Is there like a pathology? It's a lot of later movies pass it once this became a thing people did. Like,
it is actually. Yeah. Looking through more recent films, a lot of the recent ones do pass it more than the old ones do. Like I went back to the 80s and like a lot of red X's next to those titles.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna guess yes.
It did. Joe got that one. Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yes.
I'll just say no to be different.
Okay, Dave got that one. It did pass.
It's robots talking about robots.
Furious 7.
Yes, because it's people talking about a family, right? The family.
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
Yeah, you guys both got that one. Avengers, the original one.
Yes.
I'll say no.
Joe got that one. Jurassic
Take that,
World.
women. Jurassic World.
Yes.
I'll guess yes.
Yeah, I'll say yes.
You guys both got that one. Star Wars: Force Awakens.
No.
I'll guess yes.
Joe got it.
Damn.
Because it probably has the Leia and then I didn't see it, but...
Oh, shit. I did see it. I didn't even realize.
Anyway, all right. 2 left. Same director. Titanic.
No.
Yes.
It did pass.
Because it has that thing about money, where Kate Winslet and the mom talk about money.
All right. And last one. Avatar.
No.
Yeah, I'll guess no.
All right. You guys both got that one.
Cool.
Avatar, #1 grossing film in America, does not pass the Bechdel test.
Interesting.
Who cares?
Yeah, really.
I don't know though. Like, I would love a robot test. Like, do 2 robots talk about something other than humans, like, or shit like that, or aliens?
Do 2 talking animal characters talk about something aside from humans?
Yeah. I'd love a list of those movies. Like,
The Stay War test.
yeah, I think there should be a whole slew of these. Like, what's a movie that has no women and only men are muscular? Like 300.
Ice Station Zebra.
What's the Boginski test? Like, all protagonists must have a revolver and a mustache.
It's pretty much my test is if it's an action thing, the hero can't be a work for the government, and someone has to use a gun for good.
See, nothing wrong with.
No, that is it's pretty embarrassing.
You should do your quiz sometime and guess if it passes that. Like, that's a good test.
There are some times where I'll watch things where it's a police officer type character.
You see, Joe, like, you always don't agree with categorization, but when I ask you about yours, you have extremely complex methods already.
I'm not dogmatically beholden to it. I'll qualify it. I'll watch Longmire, or it's like I'd be like, all right, cool. It's a guy who's not, a cop.
Do you have things like that, Alec? Like, I feel like if I see, there's certain things that, like, if I see, if it's a kind of narrative I like, I will just jump on it right away. Like, there's certain things that kind of, I'm trying to think of what they are.
It's definitely got to be silly with me. Like, it has to have a sense of humor usually. Not that I won't, watch something that is serious, but I definitely gravitate towards, sillier stuff usually.
Like brevity.
Well, that's just general genre interest.
So yeah, that's not really a Bechdel test.
Right, right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have one. I don't think I really have a checklist of stuff I like to see.
Well, we should go through all the stuff you really enjoy and see if there's common denominators.
I guess so.
I'm going to do my game real quick, okay, Joe?
All right.
So, are you guys familiar with the idea of classes or roles in role-playing games?
Yes.
Somewhat.
Like, when you start a game, you can pick a race and a class.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's this game. It's a very famous role-playing game called NetHack. Have you guys heard of this shit?
Yes.
Yes,
I've heard of it.
So, I won't get into the details of the game. I'll just go right into it. So, each character, when you pick your class, starts out with a loadout. Like, you get certain items, and I'm going to tell you what the items are, and I want you to guess what it is.
Okay.
So, I'll start with an easy one. This character starts out with a kitten as its pet, and it has a cloak of magic resistance, a quarterstaff, 3 random scrolls, a spell book, 3 random potions, and 3 random rings. What is this?
Is it a sorcerer?
Say a witch.
Yeah, it's a wizard. So you guys are both right. So it's an easy one. Okay, so this character starts out with a little dog called Slasher. And it starts out with 1 club, 1 sling, up to 33 rocks, 22 stones, and leather armor. What is this character?
Say a human. It's a normal human.
What's the class? He's asking the class, though, right?
The class?
Not the race. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna
kind of surf, something like that. I'd say.
That's pretty good. I would guess scout.
All right. Alec is actually closer. It's a caveman.
Okay.
And
what did Alex say again? A surf?
That's surf. I'm not.
That's
even,
not. That's in no way closer.
I guess you're right.
I think we're both pretty much wrong.
Yeah. I guess so. This is interesting though. Like in terms of conduct, normally cannibalism gets you a point against your alignment, but if you're a lawful caveman, you will gain a point of alignment for committing cannibalism. And it says the message, you honor the dead when you eat them.
Ah, very good.
Yes. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And also, the caveman has a primal roar technique, which temporarily boosts all of your nearby pets. So if you had a dog, it would turn into a large dog, or a kitten turns into a house cat. I thought that was weird. Anyway, so this is the next one. This character starts out with a whip, a leather jacket, a fedora, up to 6 food rations, a pickaxe, a kit for tinning, or so if you find a corpse, you can put it into a tin, like a tin can. A touchstone. A touchstone is a thing you use to identify gems with. You rub a gem on it, and the touchstone tells you what it is. And an oil lamp.
Is it an adventurer?
I'd say a miner.
It's an archaeologist.
All right, so it's like Indiana Jones.
It is Indiana.
Oh yeah, the whip.
Yes, and the fedora and leather jacket.
I think
those
I
were
should
kinda
get
giveaways.
You said who? Wait, Alec, you said what? Miner?
I said a miner.
And Joe said adventurer, which is
That's closer to indie.
yeah. And this character, if it digs up graves, you get a message. You feel like a despicable grave robber. So grave robbing is considered bad, as is breaking statues. If you are this character,
I agree with that.
yes, it's bad archaeology.
Yeah.
All right, so this character starts out with 1 long sword, 1 lance, ring mail, helmet, and a pony with a saddle.
Knight.
Ranger.
Yeah, it's a. It is a
I
knight.
know.
It is a knight.
Yeah.
And the knight is interesting because it has to show honor in combat. If it doesn't, like, you can't use a poison weapon, you can't strike an enemy while it is getting dressed, or paralyzed, or sleeping. So, or overeat, or steal. So the next, this character starts out with up to 1,000 gold pieces, up to 40 darts, a camera, a credit card, up to 20 pieces of food, and maps. What is this? Oh, and a Hawaiian shirt. What is this character?
Spy.
I agree. It sounds like a spy.
It's a tourist.
Oh. That's a class in a game?
Yes, it's kind of an odd one. And
It is an odd one.
the credit card is useful for opening doors, and which is true.
Yeah, you just jimmy the lock with them.
Yeah.
I guess maybe you're jimmying them.
Have you guys ever tried that? It's not easy.
I have. I did not. I was not successful.
Certain doors, I've been able to do it. I've been locked out of an office before and had to get in. It does work.
Yeah.
You do. It should be a card that's disposable, though, because you are going to screw it up.
Mm-hmm. You know what is good at opening doors is those cards that they give you in hotels.
Oh yeah.
Only those doors, though.
Yeah. And sometimes they have to input the code in several times.
That's true.
Remagnetize them.
Yeah. Next.
Shit. I'm out of them. Did you want one more?
Do you have another one?
I can just pull one from the list.
All right, you could do one, then we'll go to mine.
Okay. This character starts out with no weapons, 2 leather gloves, a robe, a spell book of either healing, protection, or sleep, and a bunch of apples, oranges, and fortune cookies, and an oil lamp.
Is it a merchant?
Fortune teller, I'd say.
All right,
That's a good guess.
I'll give you one hint. It's about its conduct. This character feels guilty about eating non-vegetarian food and suffers a penalty for eating non-vegetarian food.
Is it a vegetarian?
No.
Is it a hippie?
It's a monk.
Okay.
Like a Shaolin monk.
All right.
So... Now, I play a lot of these games, but even this game has too much shit for me to keep track of. Like, I kind of find this game difficult to parse.
How many different character classes are there in this game?
It's like in this one, it's those, and then there's additional one. There's like a Valkyrie, a samurai, which that's a weird one. Apparently, when you play as a samurai, it changes all the text of items to Japanese. So yeah, it's it's like American Japanese, where like helmet is a kabuto and tenko, and it's like that seems hard to keep track of.
So it's still written out in English, but they just use the Japanese word.
That's more manageable then.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought you just meant it was in Japanese characters.
Yeah. No, it's pretty much your standard shit, like healer, barbarian stuff. Although there's variations of the game that have all this other crazy shit. You know what I mean? So.
Cool.
All right, so
you got one?
Yeah, I've got a list of people pardoned or granted clemency by the President of the United States.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. Here's this one. Let's see here. This president pardoned Brigham Young for his role in the Utah War.
I don't even know what either of those things are.
Brigham Young?
I don't know who that is.
He was like a very prominent figure in the Mormon church.
Oh, okay.
He was like
the Utah War.
He was like the first one after Joseph Smith.
So that's almost Civil War era, I would think. That's pretty old.
I'm bad with presidents.
Yeah, me too.
Especially old ones like that.
I don't think it's like Lincoln or something, but I think it's older though.
I'm going to say Taft.
That's decades after. I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint, Dave, because Alec just wasted his guess. His initials are JB.
JB.
I wish I got that hint.
I mean, that's a pretty big hint. Is it James Barnfeld?
That's not a real
Buchanan.
president.
Buchanan.
Buchanan.
Okay.
Alec would have gotten it if he didn't waste his first guess.
How many?
I didn't know that it was a waste. That's the sad part.
What was James Buchanan? How near the Civil War was it? How many presidents?
He was right before Lincoln.
Right before Lincoln. Okay. All right. Next.
All right. Okay. This president pardoned George Wilson, convicted of robbing the United States mails. And it says, strangely, Wilson refused to accept the pardon. The case went to the Supreme Court, and it was the verdict. The ruling handed down was, a pardon is a deed to the validity of which delivery is essential, and delivery is not complete without acceptance. It may then be rejected by the person to whom it is tendered, and if it is rejected, we have discovered no power in this court to force it upon him. So what this ruling decided was that you can only be pardoned if you accept the pardon.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's interesting. But who was the president that pardoned this man convicted of robbing the United States mails?
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this could be modern too.
It could be it could be anything.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's Andrew Jackson.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. The next one we have here. All right. I've got this president pardoned Roger Clausen, who was convicted of polygamy.
That's another one. That could be any time. I mean, it seems like it had to have been a time when polygamy was illegal. Isn't it not? It's like is it illegal in some states? I can't even remember.
It's illegal everywhere.
It's illegal everywhere.
I guess
Gerald Ford.
I don't know. I bet it's an older one, though. Fuck, I don't know. Lincoln.
Dave was closer. It was Grover Cleveland. All right. This president pardoned Robert E. Lee and restored his full rights of citizenship, but it was restored posthumously.
That might be Lincoln.
No, there's
It was
no
after
way.
Robert E. Lee was dead, so...
So is Ulysses?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm going to say Ulysses S. Grant.
I'm going to say George Bush Sr.
Alec is closer. It's Gerald Ford.
Oh,
really?
man. I was one off.
He
One guess
also,
off.
let's see. He also pardoned famously Richard Nixon.
It's nice.
Well, he got to be
All right.
president because of him.
All right. Let's see. This president pardoned Jefferson Davis, president of the Confederate States of America.
Posthumous as well?
Yeah.
I bet that's another modern one. The president of the Confederate States, though?
Yeah.
'Cause
Jefferson Davis.
I always wonder, because some of these things are like Reconstruction, trying to build bonds again, and other of them are kind of about looking back shit. I don't know. I'm going to say this one was more recent. I maybe Ulysses S. Grant. I bet if it's not him, it's close.
That's recent?
No, I said that's not recent.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to guess Nixon.
Oh, it's Jimmy Carter.
Oh, Jimmy Carter.
Oh.
It's a modern one.
Yeah. All right. This president pardoned. Let's see here. This president pardoned Iva Tuguri Dakino, better known as Tokyo Rose, the only U.S. citizen convicted of treason to be pardoned.
I was reading about Tokyo Rose recently. Is that Bill Clinton?
Kennedy, I guess.
Oh, it was a return. It was Gerald Ford.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Now, this president pardoned first-time offenders convicted of crimes under the Narcotics Act of 1956. He pardoned all, in effect overturning much of the law passed by Congress.
I want to say Bill Clinton again, because I thought that was part of his thing, is that he handed out 1 million pardons. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that.
What do you say, Alec?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Of 1956?
I'm going to guess no, actually. Gerald Ford.
Yeah.
No, that's 70s, I know.
That's the answer to all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was in the 50s. Was that Kennedy? Kennedy in the 50s? Or was that 60s?
I need a guess.
It was Kennedy again.
It was Kennedy.
Oh, sweet.
But Kennedy was not president until the 60s.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right. Let's see if we got any more good ones. This president pardoned Eugene Debs. He was convicted under the he was convicted of sedition under the Espionage Act of 1917.
Fuck, 1917?
17. Prominent socialist.
FDR?
What do you guess, Alec?
I'll guess TR.
Alec, you're really bad at this.
I know.
No, it was Warren Harding. All right. This president pardoned notorious war criminal Lieutenant William Calley for his the murders committed during the My Lai massacre.
I bet this shit's Gerald Ford again.
I'm gonna guess Nixon.
Alec got it. It's Nixon. All right. Let's see if there's one
I'm
more.
terrible at this, but I have 2 right answers.
Yeah.
Dumb luck.
You love these presidents games, Joe. This is like the second one you've had, right?
It's probably the 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
And I've had like we had like the presidential car one also.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if there's one more good one.
You just do it because you like presidents. I'm gonna start doing my games just shit I like that you know nothing about.
I don't like presidents. I just find it interesting. All right, this president pardoned these two. All right, this president commuted the sentence of Patty Hearst, and then this president granted Patty Hearst a full pardon. Who are the 2 presidents?
Fuck. I feel like this one's like much more modern. Like this is like Bush, not like Daddy Bush or Clinton.
You want to guess 2 presidents?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those.
Patty Hearst. Wait, so I'm guessing who pardoned her, and what was the other one I'm guessing?
The first president commuted her sentence. The second one pardoned her.
I'll do. I'll do Jimmy Carter, and then I'll do George W. Bush.
And what was your guess, Dave?
Actually, I'm going to change it. I think the guy that commuted it was Kennedy, and the guy that pardoned it was like Bush or Clinton. Daddy Bush or Clinton.
Pick one or the other.
Clinton.
All right. Alec got the first one. There's no way it could be Kennedy because she wasn't. Kennedy died in '63. There was no way. I mean, she was like a child in '63.
Okay.
And it was Clinton who gave her the full pardon.
Okay.
We both got half a point.
Very good.
Both half points, both full disappointments.
I got 2 right.
Yeah, you did all right.
Out of like 10.
Yeah, Patty Hearst
20%.
was. See, Patty Hearst was 9 when Kennedy died. Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta go. I have to eat some cereal.
All right.
Yeah.
Good show.
Yeah,
Ronald
good show.
Reagan. Ronald Reagan pardoned George Steinbrenner. Did you guys know that Steinbrenner was convicted of a crime?
They did
I
not.
did not. My knowledge of Steinbrenner doesn't go far past Seinfeld.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys want to do plugs?
You can do them if you guys want. I'll do mine after.
All right. Check out Omega Land, the post-apocalyptic tarot deck, available on Amazon.com. And if you're going to be in Brooklyn on July 1st of 2016, my new band, the Diamondettes, are playing a gig at Muchmore's. I'm not sure I'm not sure what time. Probably around 7-ish.
What kind of music are you guys playing?
I don't know.
You gotta get it together.
Yeah. Just come by, check us out.
Are you singing?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And how about you, Alec?
Oh, you can go over to alecllewellyn.tumblr.com. It hasn't been updated in a while, but I'm going to get back to that soon. Yeah. And you can go over to barbershopwindow.com or prowrestlingtees.com. I have a lot of shirts for sale on both of those sites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll include links. I need to start doing that.
I looked at some of the images. It kind of seems like, you remember like the Daria end title sequences?
Yes.
Is that offensive that I said that to you?
No, not at all.
Yes.
No, I like those a lot.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, Daria's very, very good.
Wait, but what were you likening to Daria? The shirts I have up there?
Yeah, some of your like wrestling figures.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I can see that.
Yeah,
totally.
I bet Daria passes the Bechdel test.
I'm sure it does.
It'd be funny if it didn't.
Well, I'm sure it's an episode to episode basis.
It's all Daria talking about Trent.
I don't know. There's like one episode where she's like trapped in a van with him, right?
Yeah.
It's only Daria and Trent for the whole thing.
That probably doesn't pass.
It could be Quinn talking with the mom.
Oh, that's true. Or Quinn talking with her friends.
Yeah, the other ones.
It is a dominantly female cast on that show. So
that show's really good.
It is a really good show.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
When you enter the dungeon, only one gets out alive. Backstab by US Games. Now available on Amazon. Google Backstab card game today.